Hello there and welcome. I'm so glad that you can stop by to visit with me. I thought I'd pop on here and do a little what I'm working on video. I haven't done one of those in a while. And I'm working on one of my favorite color combinations for Christmas. This is going to be my next Christmas journal, and it's going to be gold and white. And I don't have it done. I've just been working on it, and I thought, well, I'll come on here and share a few of the ideas that I'm doing working on this and what I'm thinking of doing with it. Share a few tips that I've learned about different aspects of it. It is in the tradition of the journals I've been doing lately, which is soft cover, fabric on one side, cardstock on the other, and then one signature sewn in. So it's going to be gold and white. And the cover, I normally take the cover, and it's really easy to do if you want to try it. You just get a nice piece of cardstock, and I use Neham, I don't know what, it's a 110-pound white Neham, and I print on one side. And then I turn it over, and I get some Aleene's glue, and I put it on there. You can either spread it on with a brush, like a paint brush, or with a credit card, and you put it out thin, and you want to make sure and get glue all the way to the edges, because that always happens is that the edges don't get put down. So I actually put a little extra glue on the edges. And then I get my piece of vintage fabric, and I find vintage fabric at sales and at charity shops. Like this piece of vintage fabric here that I did on my last journal, it's just a blouse that I cut up, a vintage blouse. And it seems to work better with fabric that you're going to glue down, to have a little bit of air pockets in it, because if it's too tight a fabric, it kind of draws up the cardstock. Anyway, so I just like it. I just happen to like these kind of fabrics that have some design in them and a little bit of raised, and they just give a bit nice vintagey look. And then the fabric that I use for this new journal that I'm going to do is just some raised fabric, vintage fabric that I got at a sale, and I don't know if it came off a bolt of fabric or if it came off of like a tablecloth or a pillowcase, but anyways, I just found it and washed it, and I just love it. I wish I could find some more. It's kind of a raised pattern. It has little airy holes in it, and I thought it looked kind of fluffy white, which is kind of what I wanted for my vintage cover. And so I covered it with that, and then over the top I put this piece of lace that has gold sparkles through it. I had gotten a bag of lace from a lady, and this piece came in it. It's just I don't know, where you get lace like that, but it's very beautiful. So I cut off a piece of that and put it over the top. And then I always have trouble with my cover fronts. I sell almost 99% of my journals, and I always want to make sure that I make journal covers that are sellable. And you put things on the front that people would like to look at for a long time. And some people like to look at ladies, the vintage ladies, and other people don't like things like that on the cover. So I'm always going back and forth about what to do on the cover. And on this one I was thinking I wanted to maybe put some type of a pocket or a band, and then I could stick a vintage tag in, a Christmas tag that I make inside of it, but not attached. And then the person who had it eventually could attach it or not if they wanted to. That way it would leave it more like you could have it like this and do something else with it, or a picture of your own. And then or you could use the belly band or the pocket or the tie with the tag in it to that way, and it could come off and you could glue things on. So I started fiddling around with how could I do that, and I have all this yarn. And I just love, I used it in a journal that I made last year, a Christmas journal. It's some more yarn that I found at a sale. And this is real fluffy yarn, and I kept thinking, you know, that would make really good snow. Or what if I could make some kind of a flower with it, some really puffy flower that I could put in the over here. But I think it would take a lot of work to make a yarn flower. So I started playing around with the yarn, and I'll show you the other one. And this is the other one. I just love this one. This one made this yarn, this bolt of yarn with these little puffs of pom-poms on them, made really good tag toppers on my Christmas journal last year. Just sticking at the top of tags, I'd take 2 of them and tie it on the top and they'd stick up. Anyways, that was one good thing. But I just love this little yarn, and I've even thought about just cutting the little puffs off and using them for something. But at first I just started to glue them down because I thought I could make a little row of the puffs and it would look kind of snowy, and I could put it at the bottom of a page. But once I started gluing them down, I was looking at it, I was going, well, that would make a good band across there. I hadn't put that on yet. That would make a good band across there, so wouldn't that be pretty? And I could like put it on a tie and then wrap it around, and then they can take it off, or eventually the person who owns it, they could glue that as a belly band, or they could glue it down here. Anyways, they could attach it and I can stick my tag back behind there. So I just glued them down on some cardstock, and you could glue it on, I'm also going to try gluing it on some tracing paper because that would be lighter, but I wanted this one to have a little bit of support because it was going to be on a tie, or, well, this is the first thing I started gluing it on. And then I also even tried putting some glitter glue on it, and that would work too, different glitter glue to make the little puffs sparkly. And I'm going to make some more of these to put inside the journal, I think. And then I found this piece of jewelry that I got from a charity shop in a bag of pearls, and it's concave on the inside. I don't know if you get that kind of jewelry that, you know, it kind of doesn't have a back, it only has the edge. And I wanted to put it down on here and see what it would look like, but I didn't know how to, the glue wouldn't hold on just the little edge there. So I got some a cotton ball, and I cut it in half, and I Fabri-tacked it inside of here. And then when it was set and I could see it was going to stay, I cut it off, some of the cotton ball off till it was flat, and then I glued that down, and this is going to stay. It is totally tight. So if you have buttons or other pieces of things that are kind of hollow in the middle, that might be a way where you can get them to stick down on pages and other things like that using some fabric tack and some cotton balls. And then while I was doing that, I used this other yarn here because I thought that actually looked more snowy. And I started gluing it down in a row. And I do think it looks snowy. And I'm going to do that again and put that on an edge, I think, in one of my pages in this book. But I got this idea to make some pearl trim. And so I had these pearls that I'd gotten at different places. I just started gluing them down in different parts of the thing. And I think that would make a good belly band or band around a journal for maybe another journal that I do. And I can even put some more stuff in there. I haven't decided. And I don't know if you can see, I tried a little glitter glue in between the edges, and I think it showed up better in this one. And it looks kind of cool. So if you have yarn, there's ways that you could probably use yarn in your journals. If you have this really cool yarn and you're trying to figure out, what can I do with it? I want to use it for something. There's a couple ideas that you could use in your journals to, you know, make different craft items and stuff like that. So then on the paper, since this is my gold and white journal, I'm using a kit that I have in my shop, plus I'm using a kit that I got from Digital Curio, and I'll put a link in the description box. And it's a gold overlay, and basically it has no background, but if you print it on white paper, that makes it gold and white. So I printed out different there's like 12 different ones in that offering, so I printed out the paper in different ones, plus I use this gold one that I have of mine, and I have a little extra fancy paper that I have had for a while, and so I won't go through all of it, but you can see that I'm sticking with the gold and white theme. And usually when I make these journals like this, I always want to have a little piece of lace or something sticking out here. It just looks cute. And so I've been going back and forth about whether to use these laces. Now I'll show you what I mean. This one, I'm almost out of this one. This one is my favorite one to do this with. I usually put this one on the first page and then let it stick out a little bit like that. And I thought that would be cute, but it is cute, and I do love it on my vintage journals, but Christmassy seems to me to be a little bit more like this. And I like these little balls on the edge like this. And when I do that, for some reason, I don't want them to disappear on the edge. I put that actually on the back side of the cover because it helps them show up more. And I think that is kind of cute like that. And you know, when I put that band across there like this, and then I'm gonna glue it to some fabric. So I'm gonna glue it on this side to a piece of fabric, and I'm gonna glue it on this side to a piece of fabric so we can tie it all the way around and make a bow. This will be a lot less that'll be crushed underneath the tie, is where this other lace would probably be a little bit big. I mean, it probably wouldn't kill it or anything because it's pretty sturdy, but anyway, so I think I'm probably going to end up with this one. And then on the inside, on the first part, I'm sorry, I keep knocking the camera. On the first part of the inside, I want to make a lace pocket for sure, right here, that I can stick some pretty tag in. And so, I don't know, you guys have probably heard me talk about Crafty Me Shop. I always say that the lace on the cover is from Crafty Me Shop, and it's a shop on Etsy that sells lace. And I buy too much lace. And I was looking through the lace that I buy, and I wanted to show you this right before. This is another little tip. If you have any lace that I think a lot of us have lace, and most of my lace is in bundles, sitting in bags, sitting in buckets, rolled up on pieces of paper and stuff like that, and half the time I couldn't even figure out how much lace I had. Well, she sent me I bought like a 10-pack thing of lace, and when it came clipped to a safety pin like this, and then the lace was all hanging from the safety pin. So it was all bunched together. And I thought, oh my God, what if I take that safety pin and I hook it on one of those hooks on the wall? I just put like one of those commando strips on the wall, and then I hook it on that. And that is what I've been doing with my lace, and now I can see it, and I put it right. I had enough room to put it right next to my craft table. Well, I spread out. I have different craft tables, but the one I use the most. And so I can just like flip through it, hanging from the wall, and look and see which kind of lace that I want to use and stuff like that. So anyways, that's another little tip if you have a bunch of lace and you're trying to figure out a way to store it so that you can actually use it. And I was gonna get a piece of this lace, and I had it picked out. Oh, here it is. But I didn't want to cut it off there yet until I was sure. But I was thinking, I don't know if you guys can see, move my lace up here. But I was thinking this might be a good pocket right here. Doesn't that look pretty? I don't know if you... Sometimes if you get some lace you can't see, it doesn't show up as well on the camera as it does in person. But I think... And then this is kind of netting right here. And so the tag will be especially important that you put in there, because you'll be able to see it all the way down. So I think that's what I'm going to do on that side. I might even go ahead and go across to the other side and use it there. Then I'd glue it here and here and here. And you just use a little bit of fabric tack, and then once you're done, you just take a paper towel and you just dab it just a little bit so it puts it down. It doesn't get all over the place. And so you can even put the fabric tack on the netting part. It works real well. And you could even let it go just a little bit further down so it hangs down just a little bit. I might do that too. But anyways, that's my little what I've been working on video. I thought that I'd show you a little bit about what I'm doing right now. I hope you guys are having fun crafting, and I hope you have a good holiday if it's your holiday time. And if not, I hope you have a great crafting time. And once I finish my journal, I will surely do a flip through on here so you can see what I ended up doing. And who knows, I might even come up with another what I'm doing, working on with it, and some more tips. But thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day.